shiny plastic, black mirror fascist, obsessed capitalist. Are you feeling guilty Catholic? Pretty, picturesque Facebook status, happy family and happy marriage, like the magazine pages, superimposed with Photoshop and happy faces, where cancer doesn't exist, and your daddy lives for ages, and the black babies with the swollen bellies are only moments on your telly until you switch it off and put your makeup on. So walk your dog vegan and put your makeup on, posing perfectly pouting and put your makeup on. Hypocrite, selfie, snowflake nation, not making a difference, not voting, not independence, cause it's irrelevant to how your hair grows. You're pretty, and it's a pity that you're prepared to perpetuate your particulars on Instagram and prefer not to educate and overcomplicate an avocado, like you know the answers to the problems of this world. Meditation and mindful. How about realistically having kids to feed on minimum wage and suicidal without letting your wife know? Cause I don't kill myself for fashion, not a psycho for the sake of it. Hate the name of it and really ashamed of it. I hate your glossy, double tongue, so in circle, talky, trashy magazine, like Sebastian's dreams. Your friends are just old plastic, and it's lonely out there. I don't care about your implants or artificial intelligence, agony ants, chitty chat irrelevance, designer shirt and pants. So keep on spending, goodbye pretty people, it's such an ugly ending. Keep pretending, keep on telling yourself that you're so important, like everyone else, like everyone else, like everyone else. Pretty people, pretty people, pretty people, pretty people. Pretty people, pretty people, pretty people, pretty people. Pretty people, pretty people, pretty people, pretty people. Pretty people, pretty people, pretty people. Pretty people, pretty people, pretty people, pretty people. Pretty. Fight for your rights, but you die to lose.
Goodbye, pretty people, I'll miss you. All your little giggling and self-serving circles, self-absorbed, oh shallow surface, all that fucking money and totally worthless, in entirety distractive. A life without purpose, your embodiment is everything wrong, emboldened by a Harvey Nicks arrogance, echo chamber, industrial multiplier, factory line features and adjusted plastic artifice, cosmetically cybernetic immortality activist agents. Away with your moisturizing skin armor nonsense, swigging beard lotion against a Georgian backdrop. One-sleeved tops are a symptom of civilization in decline. Beggars rocking £100 traders with metallic shell toes. Designer baby accessories with perfect lips and a pre-birth sense of what looks fucking fabulous. It's ridiculous, marvelous, purebred, beautiful offspring of the embassy, laughing at the wannabes that think that greed is power. The hours tick by and all you want is everything endless. You are now living in the culture with a locust consumer, target population, proof of fashion, housing, online grooming saloons. Pretty predator class, deadly privilege picking flesh from the populace fast. The terrorist victim look is this year's heroin chic. Superior models to snap them pop-up bomb sites, pop-up prescription antidepressants, propping up debris arranged in artistical splatter patterns. Little ray of ignorant exception at the tipping point. You're dragged to the ground by the teeth of natural selection. We defecate upon your form, thrown upon your back and bleeding in round the scissor man. Snicker, snack. Your entrified empathy, ultimately empty, dead heart, pretty face.
This had happened, and you knew you had a call to duty to more or less take over.
Right. First, I called my squad sergeant and told him to get all the detectives available up here because we knew it was going to be a long, drawn-out process. But I think, like everybody else, shock and awe. I mean, you really don't expect something like this tragic of an event to happen in a small town like Delphi. And I think it took a while to set in, and then it was just total chaos. I mean, the investigation with all the help that we got was just total chaos. And we were able to get that to controlled chaos. And then I joke around about becoming an oiled machine, and now I think it's a well-oiled machine where it's very manageable, and we're making a lot of progress. But yeah, it's just pretty traumatic for everybody involved, not just the community, but every investigator that's been up here. But I think we all have a job to do. We all focus. We're very professional, and we're going to find who's responsible for this and make sure that we get justice for Abby and Libby. I mean, Abigail Williams and Liberty German did not deserve this. And I think my passion is getting justice for them and their families and the community.
People often forget that officers.
What's up? TLH in the house. How you doing?
and detectives are real people as well. And emotionally, this is difficult for everybody involved.
Absolutely, and I kind of led to that, but and the other thing is, life doesn't stop. We try to put it on hold when you have a major case like this. You try to put life on hold, but it doesn't stop. I mean, we have detectives up here that have had their own deaths in their families, their own sickness. Their kids are sick.
Well, you can thank Kid for that. Hey, when you get your nickname, you're stuck with it. That's it. You're stuck.
They're planning weddings, just everyday stresses, and you can't stop that. You can't put it on hold. You might be able to for a day or two, but with this type of investigation and it being month, 2 months, 3 months, hopefully not any, years, but you can't put that on hold. So you have to deal with those stresses. You have to find a way to do it. And I think for me, what makes it easy is the people I'm working with and working for. And so it's been a little easier to handle that stress when you have the backing and you work with such great people.
Are there times where you just kind of have to break down sometimes and deal with what's going on?
I think so. I think it's impossible to control those. This is a very emotional case. I think it's impossible to. The hardest thing as a manager, and for me personally, is to take time off. I preach it. Hey, don't work this weekend. Especially early on, we were working 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for the first couple weeks. It's impossible to not take this kind of a case home with you. We preach that, we're taught that in the academy, don't take your job home with you, but it's impossible. So for me, early on, to take a day off, I would sit at home and think about, what can we do to get justice for Abby and Liberty? What have we done that we could go back and do better? And the detectives are the same way. Everybody that I talk to, once you get here for a day, you're in.
All right. TLH says, how much confidence do you have in law enforcement involved in this case? County, ISP, and FBI. I don't know. I don't know enough about them. I don't know enough about their techniques as far as communicating. I don't know if they have maybe some issues like, hey, they want to hold on to something, or they want to make sure they're getting credit for the work that they do. I don't know if there's something like that going on. But I mean, I want to have faith in them. I hope that they're doing their best. And I hope that, they're as trained as we believe that they are. But it's still very early. This case, 5 years, I mean, honestly, in the scheme of things, it's still extremely early.
Invested, and it's hard to separate from that, and that's raw emotions. I mean, it's tough, but we're trained professionals, like I said earlier, and we just have to know that the end is coming, and that the only end for us is to get justice for Abby and Libby. In this case, I've never seen as many resources thrown at a case like this from the FBI, the state police, DNR, Indiana Department of Homeland Security, everybody, every resource that we can think of that is available has been used.
When you have to sit down with the family,
What's going on, Rich? Speak your mind, buddy.
what keeps you going strong through that?
It's tough. It really is. I mean, I'm probably, most people that you talk to about me would say I'm not very emotional, but this has got me very emotional, and you have to take a step back and really appreciate life for what it is. But to answer your question, when you're talking to the family, like I said, I can't imagine. I try. I am that type of person where I try to put myself in your shoes when you're in a tough situation, but I can't even get close to doing that, because I can't imagine what they're going through, and even talking to them, and you can see the raw emotions on their face, and they want to help us, and they've been so cooperative.
Just something you mentioned earlier, sleuth. Sounds top secret.
And we went back to them and talked to them numerous times, and I know that probably gets
Hey, Crime Vixen.
frustrating. But they have been so
Hello, Pookie.
cooperative with us and so patient with us, because this is a high-profile case. We don't want to rush into anything, so we are going to take our time and dot our I's and cross our T's and make sure everything is done as close to perfect as possible. I just try to maintain that professionalism and keep in the back of my head that I need to be here for Abby and Libby, because I'm going
What
to
up?
find who did this, and we are going to hold them responsible for their actions.
When you walk through those front doors and you see the notes up on the boards, the community outpouring, it's not just officers, but everybody who's come through here to support you guys, say, hey, do you need something? What's
Yeah.
that like?
Yeah, that just gave me goosebumps again. I mean, I've never had this much support. Usually law enforcement's on the other side of it, and we're not respected or treated like kings and queens, and the community has just been tremendous. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how grateful we are for what they've done.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Stop the presses. Where you been, buddy? What's up?
It just shows that the community cares about us, and we care about them, and we're going to continue to work with them, not just Delphi, but Carroll County and the surrounding counties and cities. They've just been so helpful.
I know you can't predict the future, but are we going to get this guy one day?
Absolutely. I don't make promises that I can't keep, and the only promise I can make is we're going to put forth every effort, and we're going to utilize every resource that's available, but we're going to catch this person or persons. We're going to catch this monster. Whoever did this needs to be put away, and we're not going to stop until we find out and find this person and make this person accountable for his actions.
I believe him. Do you guys believe him? I believe him. Let's end this poll here. Let's see what's going on. So we asked in this poll, is it possible we have a killer on the bridge unrelated to the Anthony Shots account? 79% of you guys said yes. What's wrong with you? You will soon be ostracized. Look at that. Can you see that in the chat? Those results? Thank you, Crime Vixen. Jim, appreciate it.
A warm winter day, and the crime that changed everything.
And then meet a monster.
13-year-old Abigail Williams and Liberty German were reported missing.
She smiled all the time.
Libby made people feel good.
I'm going to find who did this.
Our community is going through a lot of this with us.
And we pray that today is the day.
Let's find this guy. Now on RTV's new special, Delphi Daughters, the untold story of Abby and Libby.
This is the old Monon High Bridge along the trails in Delphi. It's here that Abigail Abby Williams and Liberty
Wait. Before we go further, I just want everybody to know this is all going to be all the same old information. We're going to talk about the Anthony Shots. I even found a news report from the original. There's only one that I can find on the search warrant, the original one on the 25th. And it's very short and there's no information. They just say, no, these people are unrelated. So we'll be diving into that after we watch this 2-part segment called Delphi Daughters. Honestly, it's one of the best put together segments out there. So let's check it out.
Be German, played, laughed, explored, made memories. They were in this area on the day they went missing and later found murdered. The killer is still on the loose.
Someone out there knows something about this.
Yeah.
What do you say to that somebody?
We pray every day that we'll have peace someday. We just ask that people just follow that instinct, that gut, even if you just have a suspicion. Just call it in.
Abby and Libby did a lot together. Both girls loved music. They played the alto saxophone in their middle school band.
Oh, Julia, wait. Just wait. There's a reason I picked this segment. Because last time we spoke, we started we started talking about food and baking. Well, I actually found the video where Becky Patty talks about it. Like, I searched for a little while and I was able to I finally stumbled upon it. And they start talking about baking, and they show pictures of cookies and talk about how Libby was like a really good baker. See, I knew I wasn't going crazy. So we're about to watch that.
Both loved photography and painting. The girls were set to play softball. Both shared a special friendship. It was Libby who managed to take a cell phone picture of a strange man on the bridge. He's the prime suspect.
They didn't leave each other's side. I don't know what happened out there that day. Was there was a chance or an opportunity for one to break off or split or make a break for it or whatever, but you know, I look at it as, you know, two young soldiers that stuck, you know, covered each other's back, two best friends. You know, I wouldn't leave my best friend's side, you know, and neither did they.
There are no limits. Police are still looking for pieces of information. Billboards continue to alert people coast to coast not to forget the teenage girls. As people here remember the day, there was a call for a search.
This is pretty good too.
Over 100 people out searching the area last night, walking both sides of the creek bank.
In Carroll County, police are set to regroup and restart the search for two missing girls.
Keep together, okay? That way we cover more property, quicker time.
21, copter 5.
We have found two bodies.
Yeah, she's super brave.
We are investigating this as a
Coming out, yep, this fall, maybe sooner.
We suspect foul play.
State police and the FBI have been on the scene now for several hours. A number of units and teams have been here trying to gather information.
Dude, I grubbed. Seriously.
These have been positive identified as Abigail J. Williams, 13 of the Delphi area, and Liberty Rose Lynn German, 14 of the Delphi area. This is considered a double homicide investigation.
The two girls discovered in the woods, authorities asking for your help tonight. Their last Snapchat and the image of a man authorities would like to talk to.
And they now have enough evidence to call him the prime suspect.
We do have some new information for you.
What's up, Frank? What's up, bossy? Hey, if anybody wants to call in, just shoot me an email. We're going to be here for a while. But notice the date. Okay, so you have supposedly the ski mask incident happens on the 20th. The Kleins leave to Vegas on the 21st. By the 22nd, they're able to put their cards together, or their little couple puzzle pieces together. 25th, they're ready for the search warrant and the raid on the Canal Street address. What do you guys think about that?
Today, Liberty had the presence of mind to turn on her video camera, but there's enough there that somebody could recognize this person's voice.
Oh yeah, Grunstruck. I actually had a video for that, but I wanted to make sure like we were just focusing on Delphi. But yeah, definitely. I'm gonna try to put some information together for that. Tonight's live, really, this is the live that I had planned for you guys for Thursday. But I've been talking with CD, and you guys have been asking me, hey, get CD back on your Sleuth Intuition channel. And he's been like, yeah, I've been wanting to come back. He's been real busy. He said he will most likely be available tomorrow. Most likely not this late. Who knows? I'll talk with him tomorrow morning. So that's why I'm showing you guys all this stuff. I didn't want to set up all the lights and the little green screen thing and all that stuff. So we're just going to hang out. If you want to call in, seriously, shoot me an email. And if you look legit, I'll call you on here.
And if you're watching, we'll find you.
There have been more than 11,000 tips come in to our command center.
If somebody knows something, somebody has to know this person, recognize that voice.
It's not easy, and a lot of people are putting a lot of work into this, and we're hoping that the tip's there, and we're going to find it.
Right now, a tip hotline is open for you to take action. You can be anonymous. The number to call, 844.
I did see a photograph of him posted, and I was like, man, that is great news that they got him. I can't wait to look more into that tomorrow.
459-5786. With every sunrise, the families of the girls killed wonder if the new day will bring news of an arrest. Waiting for justice for Delphi's daughters.
Aiming to master his shot, Mike Patty knows precision and practice pay off during deer hunting season.
This area down through here is...
I don't know if it's the same scenario or situation that you're referring to there, but yeah, I'm starting to see all this old stuff come up. I guess he's been pretty aggressive, to say the least.
Some of the best hunting area that I have. Well, you can see the hooves, the cloved hooves going in. This deer's heading that way.
The children and his family, including Libby, were fascinated by the deer tracks and other wildlife in hiding.
You can see coyote tracks there. This next season will be probably a little, it will be different because the time spent that usually you're just soaking in the great outdoors and the experience. There'll be a lot of thoughts running through my head, about the loss of Libby and how that has affected our whole family. So it'll be a different hunting season for sure.
14-year-old Libby loved the outdoors, and indoors, she was known for her chocolate chip cookie.
All right, this is your only warning. This is a cravings warning. If you don't want to get super hungry right now and start a plague of food talk, you better run now.
She was our baker. She could throw together a batch of cookies like nobody. She'd come in, have it done in half an hour or so, have cookies laid out for everybody to eat the rest of the night.
These days.
Hey guys, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to show you a few ways that you can use your slinger bag if you are new to tennis and you're a big...
These days, Libby's paintings, Libby's photography, Libby's skills on first base are sources of comfort. Then there's the use of sticky notes, another look into her soul.
She left me one day a note in my sun visor. I love you. Thank you for all you do for me and Kelsey. She made Christmas gifts for some of her teachers. Just kind of cute. She used, for her science teacher, she used the element table and made little blocks and spelled out teacher for her teacher.
That's cool.
Yeah, she called me one day. I'd given her some money for some item at school or function. It was probably a $10 bill or something. So she called me up and said, Grandpa, with the change, can I give it to somebody else or somebody who needs something here at school? And I said, well, sure, sure you can. So that's just the way she worked.
The Patties wanted to share these jars. They say they're filled with love. They contain messages from Libby's classmates.
Rita was always so smiling and happy. You are a very good swimmer, and I won't forget that. And she was so sweet and nice. Knowing she's gone is really hard. I miss her so much.
Nothing's ever going to bring him back. It's our job to fight, to keep it out there, to do whatever it takes to find this person or persons that has done this to them. This is our job now.
Full time.
Yes, it is.
Never ends.
Think about it from the time you get up to the time you go to bed.
Libby dreamed of becoming a science teacher. She was also interested in solving crimes or finding cures. Her curiosity in the sciences was serious business. She attended several classes up the road at Purdue University. Not far from here, the grandparents of 13-year-old Abby Williams are also heartbroken. Papa and Mima, as Abby called them, keep her belongings just where she left them.
Her things are still here. We just can't. We can't erase her from our lives, and we don't want to. We treasure her coat hanging on the coat hook and her shoes on the shoe rack, and her bedroom is just the way she left it. Because she may have walked out the door, but she's here with us.
The path to cracking this case has involved interviews with more than 500 people.
The lead investigator and his team are not lacking motivation. Their daily motto, today is the day, and it starts every morning with a prayer.
As we gather together today for our work that we've been assigned to, let's pray. As the officers say, today is the day.
That's their motto. Among this team, State Police First Sergeant Jerry Holman is the lead investigator.
Today's the day. Today's the day we're going to get closer to the end. Today's the day we're going to get closer to getting justice for Abby and Libby. We have all worked tragic cases, nothing like this. I can't even put anything close to this case.
And since day one, it's been nonstop.
Well, there's not a day, probably not an hour that goes by that I don't think about something.
From 20-hour days to sleepless nights, there's one goal.
Dude, that's so crazy that you said that. When they were talking about her and just thinking about how active she was, I couldn't help it but, have a conspiracy theory pop in my brain. Like some time traveler came and had to take care of it. I know that's ridiculous. Those are the kind of thoughts I have.
When you see the pictures of those two girls, it puts it in perspective.
He's led a team of hundreds
I don't really believe that.
of investigators all trying to find the killer, but tracking down thousands of leads hasn't come easy.
It's a roller coaster ride. I mean, you're up, you think you got something good, and then for some reason it's eliminated or whatever, and that's tough on anybody. There's no doubt that we've been faced with a ton of obstacles, and we maneuver through those. We've been faced with numerous barriers, and we just have to bust through them. And I can't imagine what they're going through, and even talking to them, and you can see the raw emotions on their face, and they want to help us, and they have. They've been so cooperative.
And when it gets tough, he goes back to that saying.
It's definitely tough. I mean, I've choked up a little bit. I need to be here for Abby and Libby because I'm going to find who did this, and then we are going to hold them responsible for their actions.
Hundreds of investigators from state police, the Delphi City Police Department, the Carroll County Sheriff's Department, and the FBI are involved in the case. They all have just one common goal. That's to find the killer.
Call 6 investigates Paris LaBelle. At this moment, there's something that you can do. The FBI wants you to take a closer look at the people around you. Report to them any changes in behavior or appearance. If it seems odd or strange to you,
Sorry, I just want to go back a little bit.
behavior or appearance. If it seems odd or strange to you, they want you to let them check it out.
If something just wasn't right, if that person started abusing drugs, if their sleep patterns have changed, any indicators like that, taken...
Wow, that doesn't sound like anybody we know. That doesn't sound like anybody I interviewed.
On its own doesn't mean anything, but when you put into a broader context of the timing and the location of that individual may be pertinent, and I would ask the public for their help. We need that help.
The old Monon High
Oh,
Bridge
sorry.
is in bad shape. It is not meant for people to cross. But not until fencing went up a couple of days ago for repairs. People dared to walk on the wooden crossing. Indiana's second highest bridge is not an official part of Delphi's 10 miles of trails. That may change in the future after extensive fixes.
She smiled all the time. All the time.
The mother who shares what justice will look like for Abby and Libby.
She was always in the middle of something, and it was always in a minute. Give me another minute. I'll do it in a minute.
And what you can do in just 60 seconds that could change the face of the investigation. The reward for information leading to an arrest, more than $230,000. Abigail Joyce and Liberty Rose Lynn were typical teenagers. Libby often used the phrase, in a minute, especially when asked to finish her homework or finish a chore. In 1 minute, 150 million emails are sent worldwide. 250 babies are born. And there are nearly 4 million searches on Google, all in 1 minute. Now the victims' families are hoping you give the girls 1 minute.
So that's why we've asked everybody to give her that other minute.
Do it now before something horrific happens again.
To look at this stuff, to think, this guy put behind bars so he can't hurt anybody else.
You could put a stop to this.
There's never going to be true justice for us because you can't bring the girls back.
You could bring closure to this portion of the case.
To close your eyes and listen to that voice. But if you can stop him, that's the best we can do.
One minute, a personal plea to you. Now let's talk about Abby. Her favorite question, is there anything I can do to help? It's that caring and joyful spirit that lets her mother smile. Anna Williams shared her passion for photography with her daughter Abby. The 13-year-old also loved arts and crafts, helping build this birdhouse and knitting these hats for newborns with her Aunt Maggie.
She loved to make things to give people. She loved to just be around people.
That included her volleyball teammates. She also planned on playing softball for the first time this year. Grandpa Cliff was so excited, he drove down from Michigan to take her shopping for the new gear.
This is Abby's kitty Bongo.
Yeah, and she named him.
Yes, she did.
And Abby convinced her grandparents and mom, who's allergic to cats, to let the stray stay. And now the family's pain, immeasurable, following the murder of Abby and her friend Libby near the bridge they both loved.
Every morning when that sun rises, how do you keep going? In light of all of this?
It's the stories and the pictures. It's the funny stuff.
She has a YouTube channel as well. It's really nice. There's some really great videos. I believe Anna actually put together herself. I recommend checking that out.
You know, the things that we've said and done throughout the years.
So for you, what does justice look like?
Justice will be that deep breath that we get to take, where my friends' children are sleeping in their own beds again, and people don't worry about their children playing outside. Justice in the law enforcement. We believe in law enforcement. We believe in the FBI and everybody else that's been on this case. That's where the justice will come from.
Abby's family was looking forward to softball season. Her mother, her grandparents, and members of her stepdad's family all played softball.
It's amazing, isn't it?
The global grief with Delphi's daughters and the heartfelt messages.
Somebody out there knows. I'm just asking them, please make the call.
Smart.
Take a look at the purple and teal ribbons. And when night falls, Delphi glows. Orange bulbs light up the city. The goal? To let them shine until Abby and Libby's killer is on.
Yep. I think it is just Anna Williams. If you go down into my community page on my YouTube channel, The Sleuth Intuition, I linked it at some point. It's a really good video.
Off the streets.
It's a tearjerker. Warning.
The murders are drawing international attention, with letters arriving from around the world.
The girl's death hits close to my heart, as I have a granddaughter who's 13. Colorado, Lakeland, Florida, the Netherlands, Australia, from Indianapolis. Although I do.
Lee Cordell says, I love this insomnia crew and shows, man. I'm in Indiana and suffer severe insomnia for over a decade. But lately, these insomnia posts are more and more, which I just appreciate and love, man. Yeah. Hey, sometimes, we just can't sleep. Something's bothering us or health-wise, but make sure you take that extremely serious. I had a close friend. He passed away shortly after complaining to me about having severe insomnia. So please take that seriously.
I do not know anyone in Delphi. I would like to give the families this money. These are what we're getting. Denison, Texas, Lafayette, California, Lockport, Louisiana. It's amazing, isn't it? Our hearts go out to you in your time of sorrow. We have children and know how hard this would be if it were our child. Oh, I'd love to meet them. Thank them for the prayers and the support sent with loving memories of your little girl. It's affected lots of kids, a whole school. They all made cards. Here's a Fort Myers, Florida. No, we don't know these people. We've had a couple from England. It's quite humbling. They think we're this special.
Nearly all Delphi home. It's about the same size as New Palestine, Pittsburgh, or Sheridan. The Wabash and Erie Canal drew business and the early settlers.
Oops, see, that's what I'm talking about. You can't play around with it. It's a killer. I'm telling you. Take it seriously.
Delphi became a city in 1866. There's no questioning the outpouring of support for the families. Storefront posters of the suspect are everywhere. There have been multiple fundraisers and vigils. When we return, the dream for Delphi's daughters.
Our community is going through a lot of this with us. So it's their love, support, prayers are what's helping us get through this.
And the Mower Shop in Fishers.
The legacies of Abby and Libby will not only play out in the hearts of those who love them, but also among those who raised money through fundraisers that will help build a sports complex, including a park and softball fields in memory of the girls.
I see beautiful things for our park, for our families, for our community to be involved in for years and years to come.
Nothing's going to bring them back. Then we can do this to at least have a little piece of them here all the time.
The Libby and Abby Softball Park Fund is being managed by the Carroll County Community Foundation. You can
no. I think that's where he ended up. I think he's an assistant there.
mail a donation to P.O. Box 538, Delphi, Indiana 469230538. Online, www.cfcarroll.org. Click on Libby and Abby Softball Park Fund. One of the best gifts that you can offer is to call if you recognize that face or that voice and give Delphi's daughters 1 minute. For the Call 6 investigators, I'm Rafael Sanchez on the Old Monon Bridge in Delphi.
Your people and the people that come through here, you know, who may be not necessarily losing hope, but it gets difficult after so many months.
It's true. This has obviously, Parrish, been something that this county's we've never had this before. And so, you know, for me, my biggest thing is my faith in God. I have a strong faith. And so I also have faith in the investigators we have on board. You know, who would have thought that we would have, you know, local all the way up to federal involved with this situation, because this is small town USA. And so for us to have the best of the best, as I've been putting it, on board, that's where I tell folks, you know, that's our drive, that's our focus. And we also get feedback from other outside law enforcement agencies that maybe aren't directly connected, but from what they see of what we're doing here, they give us feedback and say, you guys are on the right track.
I don't know if I've ever heard of that.
Investigators are doing a fantastic job, and you're on the right track, and you will get this resolved. For the community, you know, the outpouring of support is just, some days I can't put words to it. It's just, I thank the community for every individual that's, you know, either offered food or even words of encouragement. Those simple things sometimes are some of the best attributes we get from our community. And so I think the community, obviously, I feel like has faith in us. You know, there are the naysayers out there, and that happens in every community. But I feel just as confident as we.
Right.
We did from day one. And I know this has been a long time. And I've commented the last couple of days to different folks in the community that I'm not real sure, even as sheriff of this county, if we really know how to react or how to respond, because again, we've never had this. And so here we are. So, you know, what's the textbook answer here on responding to this? I'm not sure if there is one.
How hard is it, though, for, you know, some of these investigators or yourself are in the investigation, you lay down and
What's up, Tracy?
Must keep running and running and running.
Yeah, I think it is difficult, but I think that's the plus with having some of these outside agencies come on board with us, that if, you know, my guys or any of the state's guys need to take a break, we have these other outside agencies that come on board and say, hey, we'll be glad to fill the gap. And so that has helped that process, so that, I know like, several county and city agencies surrounding Carroll County have sent investigators to us to come on board. And some of them have been on board since day one. Obviously, some have had to go back and attend to their business and their
Oh, now I'm blushing. Do you hear what Virtual Mike said? He says, as a lad, I would puff, pass, but these days it's different. Why? That's what I do. I puff, and then I don't pass. I just keep doing the puff part. Can't sleep. Your voice is soothing, though. I might fall asleep. Bam, you hear that? It's like I have a soothing voice or something. Who would have thought?
Respective jurisdictions, it didn't come back to us. And so, even though we may, provide a day or two or whatever the case may be for one of our guys to take a break, there's an opportunity for us to bring.
Yeah, I think I think he's taking a beating right now in some political scandal. It may not be anything super serious or anything, like nothing criminal from what I understand. It's just like a controversy.
A fresh individual into the picture, and that being from an outside agency.
To see the commitment of your deputies, of everybody who's involved in this, whether it's just for a short period of time or it's been the entire time, what's that like to see just the constant commitment?
The initial word that popped into my mind was pride. I have a lot of pride for not only our folks, but every individual that's committed to this investigation. And again, I resort back to what I said earlier, the drive and the focus. We're in the business of seeking justice in all situations that come our way. And so this is obviously different than any other case, like I said earlier, but the pride factor, I think it's as if everyone has a hand in this, and so they want to see it carried through to fruition.
The head of the Indiana State Police is sending a new message this morning to the killer of Abby Williams and Libby German. Alex Perez brings us that from Delphi, Indiana. Good morning, Alex.
Hey, good morning, George. Investigators have been searching for Abby and Libby's killer since they vanished from this trail more than 2 years ago. Authorities believe they are one tip, one step away from cracking this case.
I think of Abby and Libby all the time. I have their names etched in.
This morning, new details from Indiana's top cop on the hunt for whoever brutally murdered 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German, in a case that has garnered national headlines for 2 years now and gripped this small community with fear.
I hope it'll be solved. I think it will. I have faith. I think they're doing some good work. To think about the stuff that we do know and then to imagine what we don't, I guarantee what we don't know outweighs what we do. It's just my opinion.
I want them to know, as long as I'm the superintendent of the state police in Indiana, we're not leaving. We're going to stay there. And when we run out of tips, we're going to start over again.
In an ABC News exclusive, Indiana State Police Superintendent Doug Carter revealing investigators have received more than 3,000 tips following that emotional press conference in April where he addressed the girl's killer directly.
To the killer, who may be in this room, we believe you are hiding in plain sight.
Carter chose that direct approach because he believes the updated sketch he released that day will strike fear in the heart of the killer.
I don't believe the individual knew we were going to do that. So it was really, really important. And I think that he was probably there.
Bam. You want to talk about some conspiracies? Did you hear that? Let me run that back. See, even Doug Carter's a conspiracy theorist. That's why he's my guy. Watch.
Released that day will strike fear in the heart of the killer.
I don't believe the individual knew we were going to do that. So it was really, really important. And I think that he was probably there or watching simply because he thought we were on the wrong path.
Along with this extended clip of the killer's
Sneaky.
voice, including the word guys,
I like it.
captured on Libby's cell phone. Carter is hopeful that someone in Delphi now has enough to recognize and identify the killer.
Good night, Rich. Sorry, I missed that one. Rich says, got to be up at 6 a.m. I'll watch the rest tomorrow. Good night, everyone. Let today be the day. See? Why is that so hard? Thank you, Rich. That's simple.
Guys down the hill, that extra word. What are you hoping that extra word is going to show or demonstrate? Or why release that?
Somebody's heard him say that before. He didn't just pick that word. He'd used it before. And it might be just that one word that makes somebody think, gosh, I do know that voice.
Whoever that is, he hopes they'll find the courage to come forward.
Somebody knows who that person is. If somebody knows something, they need to tell us. I think they're afraid to. Is why I think we have not heard yet.
And for that suspect, Carter warns that the cops already know much more than they can share, and that one tiny clue could bring an end to all of this.
We are one tip away from success. We are one tip away, one bit of information away from finding out who this individual is.
And Superintendent Carter tells me they have received more than 42,000 tips since this all started. He says he thinks about Abby, Libby, and solving this case every single day. George?
Okay, Alex, thanks very much for joining now by former FBI criminal profiler John Douglas. John, thanks for coming in this morning. That superintendent seems determined, thinks he's close. What do you make of his strategy?
All right. Here comes another conspiracy theorist. Listen to this conspiracy. Who's this nut job? He's not qualified. Let's take a listen.
Strategy.
The strategy is good. He should have done the strategy a long time ago. This case really could have been a solvable case really quick. I learned over the years at Quantico and since retirement to work in these cases, you should be releasing information relative to pre-offense behavior, post-offense behavior regarding the crime. The tape itself.
Oh, I found Alex Jones. I knew he was getting gray hair. I saw it.
It's not an order he's giving them. It almost sounds like if it would, like a school teacher would say, guys, down the hill, or
wait, what was it? It's a school teacher?
Or a coach, like someone who
very familiar.
Very familiar. And that's the other thing, familiarity with the area. When criminals perpetrate a crime, there is a thing that we call the comfort zone, where they don't just perpetrate a crime, particularly like this one here, in an area where they've never been before. So this person has been there and feels extremely comfortable. It was the victims were low-risk victims until...
Crime Vixen says, I have got info from 2 different people that knew Maria G. Villagrana. Both said she committed suicide. She hung herself in Riley Park, but nobody knows why. Shane Evans' girlfriend. Really? Where's Riley Park? What's that? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
They decided to go out that morning in that isolated area. They increased their risk level. On the part of the offender, his risk level was pretty high because it was daylight. This is a park, it's public, and there was a really strong chance someone could have come upon him.
What kind of profile would you be building based on the information that you have, and what additional information would you need to make it more accurate?
Well, what you need is the autopsy protocol.
Well, we got some conspiracy theorists here. Proceed with caution.
Autopsy photographs, the method and manner of death. You do the victimology, which is important in this case. Like as I said, they're very, very low risk types of victims. So you have this information, and for an age group, I usually start off at about mid 20s to late 20s. I've seen that the Bureau came out with a range. It's way too information, and for types of victims. So you have this information, and so you have this information, and for an age group, I usually start off at about mid 20s to late 20s. I've seen that the Bureau came out with a range. It's way too long, from 18 years of age to 40 years of age as a potential suspect. I start in the mid 20s, then I'll either tack on years or eliminate years based upon either the sophistication of the crime or the lack of sophistication, of the crime.
Let's hope we stay close on this.
Lives were cut short by a crime that shook a small Indiana community.
16 News Now's Carly Luca spoke with the sister of one of the victims ahead of the anniversary of this unsolved tragedy.
It's been nearly 4 years since Libby German and Abby Williams were killed while taking a walk on a trail in Delphi. They went missing on February 13th.
Well, Mr. Key Figure, yo sleuth. Good morning from Cornwall, UK. Big shout out to UK. Love your style, bro. Keep it coming. Did you guys check that mix? Did you catch that?
2017, their bodies found the next day. But without a suspect in custody, their families are still without closure, making time stand still.
I think that it feels like everything just happened yesterday. Everything kind of just continues to go in slow motion, but it also feels like it's a lifetime without them. So I think it's a little bit of both. We're kind of juggling the fact that it really was 4 years, but also that it really doesn't feel like it.
Kelsey German is Libby German's older sister. She tells us the girls would have been seniors in high school this year.
To us, they're still those 13 and 14-year-old girls, and they're actually 18 and 17 and getting ready to graduate. So it's hard, but
Just
we're
leave it
learning how to
on
cope
and set
with
your
time.
phone down.
Libby
and then
was
just try to
remembered
pass
at a
out.
senior night at Delphi Community High School this week. Kelsey says it was heartbreaking.
That's how we're all kind of feeling right now, as we're going through all of these last moments that Libby should be experiencing with us. And it's so sad that they're not going to be able to, but watching her friends go through them, we're kind of living Libby's life through them now.
Though it's been 4 years, this is not a cold case, and Indiana State Police say there is still a dedicated multi-jurisdictional team working the case every day. Libby German took this video of the suspect the day her life was taken. This
TLH. Hey, I'm gonna see you in the meeting. I'll see you there.
footage, along with a suspect sketch released by police, has led to tens of thousands of tips in the case. Now, augmented reality app Crime Door is taking it a step further, bringing that video to life to show a new perspective to the public.
So hopefully if somebody goes in and sees that door and they're like, oh, that's my cousin, or that's my brother, that's my uncle, it kind of clicks something in their memory that helps us get that tip.
Kelsey and her family urge anyone with information to come forward.
If you know, say something. That's so important, because we're over here waiting for 4 years and we continue to wait, and you're just sitting on that information. I'm not sure how somebody could do that, but if you are sitting on it, just tell somebody, give us closure and let us get our answers.
And while police continue their hunt for the killer, Abby and Libby's memory is bringing positivity to the Delphi community. Fundraising helped create the Abby and Libby Memorial Park, something that means a lot to their families.
It's so awesome that we're able to keep the girls' names out there, and that there's still so many people that care. So the park is going to be something that's there for many years to come. Even after all of us are gone, that park will still be there and our community will be there. And
what's up, Amanda?
Be able to go to the park and just remember them forever.
The community also comes together each year for the Remembering Abby and Libby food drive, collecting non-perishable or pet items to
Okay, Crime Vixen, I just did right now. It's quite interesting. Oh man, that's a long article, huh? That's her? She's pretty. Delphi passed away. Let's see if I can read this. I'm using my phone. Passed away on Saturday, March 6th, 2021 at IU Health Arnett in Lafayette. She was born on March 12th, 1990 in Iowa City, Iowa, the daughter of Maria J. Villagrana and Alejandra Pontecolster. Lupita was a member of St. Joseph Catholic Church, Delphi. Wow. Let me take a look at the photographs. Okay, that's interesting. Wow.
make a difference in their memory.
Talk about a conspiracy theory. Oh man, that's very interesting. I'm going to be taking a look at that as soon as we finish up here, which won't be very soon.
A food drive that will continue to go on in their name every anniversary, just so that we're able to remember them as a community and bring some light from such a dark place.
And for Kelsey, the death of her sister has changed the path of her life. She's going to school to be a forensic psychologist, hoping to help others who have been through what she has.
And so now I'm using that to create my career for the rest of my life, and using that as my passion, and hopefully I'll help lots of people with it. I'll be able to give that to people that are going through this. Being able to help people that are going through this when I didn't have that person is super important to me.
Taking her grief and using it to make the world a better place.
While Abby and Libby's families try to heal, the murderer is still out there. Police say this type of violent crime cannot and will not go unanswered. If you recognize this man or have any information on the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, please submit a tip using this email address or phone number. We also have the information on how to submit a tip on our website, WNDU.com.
5 o'clock. We kick it off tonight with new information in the Delphi double murder case. The help that police want from you right now and the big questions in the case that still remain.
It has been almost 5 years since 13-year-old Abby Williams and 14-year-old Libby German were killed. Family members tell us this is the first newly released information on the case in nearly 2 years. And tonight, Dustin Grove begins our team coverage with what detectives announced and reaction from the family. Dustin?
Good evening, Jenny and Anne Marie. Police say they want to learn more about the person who used a fake social media profile around the same time Abby and Libby were killed. And we found someone in jail tonight in a neighboring county who used a profile with that same name. What isn't clear is if that's the guy police are looking for and how it might all be connected to the Delphi case. It's something these girls' families want to know too.
It definitely gives me a renewed sense of hope.
That announcement from police, the plea for information about this social media profile, it's what Libby German's sister calls the first potential lead in 2 years.
It's a very good feeling knowing that they're still working on it and they do have new information and new leads that they're working on.
While investigating the murders, detectives say they uncovered an online profile named Anthony Schatz. They say the person behind it was communicating with underage girls to get nude images, obtain their addresses, and try to meet them. Detectives just published a plea for help about it on YouTube.
Detectives are seeking information about the person who created the Anthony Schatz profile.
Today, 13 News obtained these court documents that show a man using that same profile name arrested for child pornography last year in neighboring Miami County. Detectives in that case say Keegan Klein admitted to using the social media profile Anthony Schatz to meet girls and that he had received about 100 sexual images. The documents mention nothing about the Delphi case, and state police wouldn't say how Anthony Schatz might fit into their investigation. They are all questions Kelsey German would like answered as the painful search for justice continues 5 years later.
It just feels like a new wave of grief is hitting me really hard, in that you have to stay hopeful and remember that it's all going to happen in God's timing, and to stay hopeful that justice will come no matter what.
Yeah, Boston Christian said, and that policeman that killed himself in the park in Delphi. Yeah, that was pretty strange. We didn't hear too much about that.
Now, it's important to point out here, this man in Miami County has not been named a person of interest in the Delphi case. So what drew investigators to this social media profile and why are they interested? Well, state police wouldn't say. I also asked if they talked with Klein or planned to. And here's what the state police said about that. A spokesperson said Indiana State Police do not confirm or deny anyone who is or is not a suspect in any ongoing investigation. At this time, we are looking for any information about the Anthony Schatz profile and anyone who may have had contact with that profile. The case that you're referring to is a separate child pornography case. So how are they connecting these dots? How might these dots be connected or not? We just don't know. There's an information gap still here.
Yeah, there's a lot of information about this, and that's why we do have team coverage tonight. So Rich Knight now continues our coverage by looking and learning more about the man in this case. This is Keegan Klein.
Yeah, Klein now in the Miami County Jail on separate charges against children. So Rich, what have we learned about him?
Well, we want to first of all, again, stress that Keegan Klein is not charged. He is not a suspect in the deaths of Abby Williams and Libby German, but he admits to using the Anthony Schatz social media profile for about 6 months to communicate with underage girls and receive sexually explicit photos and videos from them. The bodies of Abby and Libby were found on February 14, 2017 in Delphi. 11 days later and 40 minutes to the northeast, on February 25th, Indiana State Police, the FBI, and Peru Police served a search warrant at a house in Peru, where Klein was living with his father. Police confiscated a half-dozen phones and electronic devices. Court records say that Klein admitted to receiving about 100.
Oh, that's awful. Yeah. I don't know. You better do something about that. You better keep trying. Because, I mean, that's some serious shit right there.
Sexual pictures from underage girls. Police found sexually explicit images and videos of underage girls on several devices. But court documents reveal Klein factory reset one phone 2 days before police arrived and deleted the internet history and social media apps from another phone before turning it over to police 2 days after he was interviewed. Klein was not charged until August 19, 2020. He faces 30 felony counts from 2016 and 2017 for possession of child pornography, child exploitation, obstruction of justice, and synthetic identity deception. Keegan Klein has been held in the Miami County Jail for well over a year now since his arrest. Klein is represented by a public defender who told me this afternoon, "My client had nothing to do with the unexpected, untimely, and unfortunate passing of the girls in Delphi." Klein's next court day is a week from Thursday, and that's in Peru.
This double murder case has rocked central Indiana for nearly 5 years now.
And as we just heard, the family really thinks this is one of the biggest developments in years. So let's take a look at the timeline of the case. Abby and Libby disappeared on February 13th in 2017. Their bodies were found the next day just out of sight of the bridge where they were last seen alive.
Then on February 15th, police released this picture of the suspect that was captured on Libby's phone. Then on the 21st, we heard audio from the suspect.
Fast forward 2 years and state police announced a new direction in the case and released this new sketch.
And then it was just last night that Indiana State Police asked for even more help finding information behind this social media account that's posted with stolen images.
So I want you to take a look at your screen. If you know anything that could help investigators solve the Delphi murders, state police really want to hear from you. Remember, they say no tip is too small. You can email the Abby and Libby tip line you see right here. You can also find this information on our website tonight, WTHR.com.
So apparently I was liking some videos that I was just trying to support and didn't really understand exactly what they were about, but I'm still gonna fucking support you guys. You got me, I got you. That's all that matters. Keep doing what you're doing. I love what you all are doing, man. Everybody out here on TikTok, this new movement. We should all be together. We should all be working hand in hand because we're all brothers. We're all sisters. We're all in this fight together. We are who we are. Doesn't make us different.
Looks like somebody already busted him in the nose.
It makes us united. Let's stay united. Respects. Love. That's all that matters. So this national rape thing, it's a bunch of young ass kids fucking starting some bullshit just to get some social media support. They're not really fucking doing that. Nobody does that. If they do, we fucking kill them. That's all. They know. Don't be a lamb. Be a lion. If you fall into that trap, that's your fault. because you're a fucking dumbass. Get over it. So I said I would never do this because I'm not photogenic for one thing, but I also just really don't like people. I have dogs. But I just wanted to say thank you to all you people out there that are sharing your stories and inspiring the rest of us to keep trying and doing our best. It means more than you know. That's really all I got. I'm not here for the shares and the likes and any of that stuff. So apparently I was liking some videos.
Thanks, Kiwi. Oh, what happened? Oh, hold on.
Any of that stuff.
Thank you.
I'm just here for support for others. Okay, there's something I want to get off my chest.
I'm trying.
To all you black folk out there that are constantly trying to stand up to the government because they're corrupt. Thank you. I love you. And no, you're not in this battle alone. We're all in this together. United we stand, divided we fall. Let's win one for the people. For our people. So, all you chicks on TikTok trying to sling your booty or sling your taco, whatever you're trying to do, you need to wrap that shit up. It ain't working. Nobody, we got Pornhub for that shit. We don't need your little extras. So, take that shit somewhere else. We're looking for a real ass woman. Over the age of 30. And confident. And
Bam. Lil Pookie hit it right on the head. It's all about relaxation.
you know who you are.
Gotta find that. You gotta center yourself.
So I probably shouldn't be doing this, but I just want to say thank you again to everybody.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you what this is. If you don't know who this is a guy named Brian Chadwell.
This is a good community.
Do this little tiny party thing tonight. Don't know yet.
Trying to get fucking drunk.
Fucking drunk, eh?
Fucking drunk, eh?
Fucking drunk, eh? I'm trying to do this little tiny party thing tonight. Don't know yet.
Trying to get fucking drunk.
Fucking drunk, eh?
Fucking drunk, eh?
Fucking drunk, eh? I'm trying to do this little tiny party thing tonight. Don't know yet.
Trying to get fucking drunk.
Fucking drunk, eh?
Fucking drunk, eh?
Fucking drunk, eh?
Drunk A. Whatever that is. So did you guys check this out earlier? That post I did on my community tab? I was working on catching some stills or some snaps, I guess if you want to call it, from the bridge walk video. And I was adjusting some things, and that hand, well, it kind of looks like the hand. And again, this could be pareidolia. Don't get me wrong. I'm not an expert. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, look, here's the picture. This is what I see. What do you see? Like, I'm not like controlling your mind or anything. You know what I mean? But if you look at it, it almost appears like typically when you carry a gun that has one in the chamber, you keep your finger off like that. You know what I mean? Getting drunk with some Canadiers. Maybe they're going across the border. Who is that? I believe his name is Keaton Duncan or Curtis Douglas. Maybe Kyle. I didn't want to say that one. Oh, what's up? How you doing? All right, let's take a look here. This is the post I did. So I guess we'll look at that part first. Well, now if we keep looking, we hear the rumors about the gun, and apparently there was the sound of, an actual mechanical motion or something going on with the gun, hammer, or it was being cocked, or. So I mean, is that what we're seeing here, or no? Are we completely off, and this is just like something completely different? So what I did was I went on Google and I basically, because I think the guy has a Glock. It's either a Glock, a 1911, or a revolver. If I was to pick like the top three, and most of the frames, sometimes it looks a lot like a revolver. Not mostly the gun part, like him in his hand in his pocket, but the holster itself. Sometimes it appears to be a holster for a revolver. That's just my opinion. My spirit box told me that. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what it looks like. And it almost appears like maybe he has a gun with the metallic magazine coming from the bottom. Maybe that's the butt of a gun. Maybe that's something else he has on his belt. or maybe that's something he has connected to the holster. Or maybe he has the gun and that's a holster for a completely different weapon. Like a sharp-edged weapon, hatchet, maybe some kind of axe. Who knows? Was that a knock at 1911s? What's up, Dallas? Good to see you. No, the image is not reverse. But I did try to adjust the colors. Like I would take more color and elevate more of it into the image, and then I would take some out. Look, you can even kind of see the face pretty good. You almost want to take the face and cut off, like follow the face right here. Like you almost want to cut off that blur, and that's what we're looking for right there. Look to the left side of the screen there. Like right there. Yeah. That's kind of what this is all about. Word up. I mean, is that far-fetched? What do you guys think? Let me see if I have any other images here. And we'll end it on that. No, I think that's the last one. Yeah, handle of a knife, handle of an axe, or like a hatchet. Maybe even extended magazine. Because I know if it is a 1911, it could possibly look metal. Typically, Glocks don't look like that. They're usually plastic. Well, not plastic. It's a certain type of. Well, I guess it would be a certain type of plastic. Yep. Humanimal says, I think yes to a weapon in the right hand. I used to think knife in one hand, gun in the other. Yeah, definitely like a gun for control, and then knowing you never really plan to use it, just too loud. Or maybe, who knows, maybe you dropped it at one point, you had to go find it. The white thing, I think it's just a Like a bandana. $19.11, yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I think I made some changes to the chat too. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Last time I couldn't keep up and I was like, oh man, I missed so many. Because I believe he is left-handed, I am still undecided about which hand holds which. I would use a gun in my left as right-handed if I plan to using the knife, kind of like you'd if you plan not to use the gun, yeah, put it in the other hand. For me, put it in your left hand. And then you would have a blade in the right hand, scare them with your left hand. You never plan to do anything with that hand. And then you actually, plan to do something with the knife that you have in your preferred hand. Or if you're right-handed, it's in your right hand. That's interesting. Good point. Is that it? Alrighty, guys. Thanks for hanging out again. It's what we do. We cover the Delphi case. We try to get better each time we do it, and I think we are. Everybody that hangs out is staying positive, trying to stay focused. So I super appreciate it. People like Amanda Morrow. Yeah, I would love for him to confess. Kid says, the hand looks lower than the jacket pocket to me. Like it's under the hangover shirt fanny pack thing. But the gun deal has been said by family from additionaudio.tomm. It will look like something else. It's interesting. Mandy, what's up? At that time, he wasn't ready to kill them. He wanted them far away from that bridge first, in my opinion. See, that's what I'm thinking. Honestly. So, guys, don't forget, I'm pretty sure me and CD are going to be doing a live stream tomorrow. So, be there or be square. It should be a good one. We haven't hung out in a while, so be good to get his opinion on all the strange going-ons in and around. The social webs, so to speak. Good night, little Pookie. I'm about to get out of here, guys. I appreciate it. Crime Vixen, thanks for participating in the chat. We really appreciate it. Everybody that showed up. All you people who are suffering from insomnia. Like tonight, I think I'm going to get some good sleep. But I know how that feels, and I had a good friend suffering from that, passed away shortly after. So if it gets really bad to where, it's 1, 2, 3 days, something like that, where you feel like your head's about to explode, make sure you get some real help. Good night. Peace and out. That's what I'm saying. You're welcome. Thanks for joining. No, it's okay. Check it out. It'll be up. Thanks, Vixen. You're welcome, Humanimal. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you. Yikes. Yep. Mandy says, yep, and he had to come up with a reason to get them to go along with him and a reason they couldn't go back across the bridge. Yeah, I can't wait for all that information to be revealed so we can all just be like, oh my gosh, okay, boom. You know? It's going to be something completely strange. All right, guys. Well, I'm going to get out of here. Like I said, come check me out tomorrow. Make sure you go message CD and be like, hey, Sleuth told me you're going to hang out. You know, put on that pressure. But I'm pretty sure we're on. And I'll keep you posted. Take care.
Sleuth.